Good morning, everyone. This is MPGL Class 6, the MPGL for the Philippines, and we have nice teams, and it's even out everywhere where you can pretty much see it. My name is Heflamoke. I'm casting today, with Mr. Couchor, who's pretty much jumping in. I was planning on another co-caster who is pretty much known in Southeast Asia, but he's also known for being quite chaotic, so he didn't come. Couchor, thanks for helping out. Also, sorry for the stream being up so late, but I just got informed we needed 5 minutes delay and I had to restart everything, and Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man, 5 minutes seems like an awfully long time, to be honest, but
yes.
And again, we are pretty close to the end of the group stage here, so every single game actually does matter in getting into those playoffs. So I suppose that may be the reasoning behind this, but looking at the draft, an IO first pick from Arcanys, and Visage Beastmaster from Kick and Surge. So with the familiars, with the Hawk, vision advantage should definitely be there for CNS.
Yep, that's already a nice combination. I wonder if Click and Search is going for some crazy aura game. I mean, Draw Ranger has been banned themselves. They got the Visage, so that's interesting, I have to say. So that Visage will not be in some vengeful Draw Ranger Beastmaster aura swarm, I guess. But on the other side, Arcanys, they picked their core already, and they showed the Wisp. So this is a Wisp Bristleback combination, something you just cannot kill. It's horrible to watch that sometimes, but that Bristleback is barely losing any HP if the Wisp plays well and doesn't get taken out really fast.
Of course, when you're up against the Beastmaster and the Visage with Primal Roar and the Soul Assumption, IO's survival may be somewhat difficult for him, but like I said, if he can just position himself correctly, it should be just fine for him. And Click and Search in general, they may want to take a more like aggressive approach and like hit the IO and the Bristleback combination before they really become unkillable. But we'll see. I'm not too sure. I haven't seen Click and Search for a really long time myself, in all honesty. Arcanys a hell of a lot more. But Click and Search definitely has some big names in the Southeast Asian scene in their team, so interested to see how well they mesh together.
Yep. And now the second ban rotation is coming out, and let's see what else we got there. Arcanys, they have a nice little mix there. Queen of Pain, okay, that's one of the most picked heroes at the moment, even though I see so many of them fail, actually. Yesterday with Mike, again, we had another set of Queen of Pains that failed horribly. The Undying is horrible for laning, and also later for fights. He kind of loses significance over the game the longer it goes, because you can actually kill the Tombstone pretty fast. Well, Phantom Lancer, Witch Dog, I can understand all of that. And now it gets quite interesting. Click and Search, they're not sure if this is actually an IO Bristleback combination as a main core idea, or if there's something else to come. So just to be safe, they ban the Tiny. For mid or against the mid, we see the DK ban. That's quite interesting. So they have a 4-core ban strategy and picked Leshrac themselves with Beastmaster and Visage. So push coming.
Yeah, I think the DK ban is probably just because if you look at Click and Search at the moment, they almost only have they have a little bit of physical damage there as well, but not by a hell of a lot. And if you already have to just kill a Bristleback in the fight, you may just not have enough to also deal with a Dragon Knight at the same time, especially once the Dragon Knight would get the BKB otherwise. Just because Leshrac, he's all about that magical damage. I mean, Diabolic Edict, yes, arguably does quite a bit of physical damage, but getting into focus on one target is the hardest part. But at the moment, Clockwork for Arcanys and Click and Search gonna go for a Shadow Demon. This might even be an aggressive tri-lane with Disruption, followed by Split Earth, and then a Soul Assumption. It's just easy kills if they go for that.
Yep, definitely. And well, Shadow Demon, how does that make actually sense? So Leshrac Shadow Demon is a roaming combination, Disruption into Split Earth, but I kind of like the core at the moment. Like, first I thought, okay, with the Leshrac and the Beastmaster, and even with the Visage with the birds, we see some amazing push combination coming out, but then again, Shadow Demon came, and that doesn't really support the entire thing. This just makes the roaming a lot easier. And as a fifth one, that we have to get a heavy core, otherwise I just don't see it happening. But this core doesn't get too much support, to be honest, in form of, in comparison to IO.
I mean, I really do think still it's probably an aggressive tri-lane that Click and Search are setting up for themselves at the moment. Of course, it might be like a Shadow Demon Leshrac roaming, but Visage core is something I haven't seen for quite some time. It can be strong enough, but well, Arcanys now gonna pick themselves up a Bounty Hunter, and with them already having Clockwork, it's probably gonna be a 4-position one, but to me this lineup feels like just mass amounts of greed, to be honest, from Arcanys. And just one sentry, one dust, this Bounty Hunter is just gonna die to like any combination of click and search.
Yep. And to be honest, with a Bounty Hunter scouting, a Clockwork, then having all the time vision on a target that's tracked, plus an IO Prisserback, or plus IO, maybe we get something else that can actually group up with the IO as a 5th pick. That's quite insane. I think yesterday with Michael Loris, a game where the laning was horrible for a team, but then Bounty Hunter managed to get like so many tracks off, it transitioned into kills, and that was just insane how the net worth graph developed. Sorry, I'm kind of distracted on the side here. So many people. I just woke up and my Skype is full of like 400 messages in 8 hours. Just the 8 hours I slept. So it's kind of insane for me. Anyway, so yeah, the track gold is something Click and Search really has to be careful. Plus their targets, like a Shadow Demon, a Leshrac, and even a Visage, after Hookshot for example, or if you're completely out of steam, no disables left, a Bristleback just eats you alive. And if that's track gold, then it's raining gold for Arcanys.
Of course, I mean, I don't see them getting a massive amount of kills though with the heroes that they have at the moment. Their like best way of getting kills is just getting a really prolonged fight when you get massive amounts of quill sprays, but Click and Search, they have a pretty nice amount of burst damage to make those fights like last a really short amount, in all honesty. So I'm hoping Arcanys is gonna get a hero that can actually like secure them easy kills every now and then. Clockwork may be one of those, but it's not like they have a crazy Clockwork combination yet, like maybe like a Skyright Mage to follow up, but I highly doubt they're gonna go for one, because that would mean that Bounty Hunter has to kind of play like a number 1 position.
Yep, no, I don't think that's gonna happen. He will roam as a good Bounty Hunter does. The last bans came out, so Storm Spirit is getting banned out. That's something I did not see on Click and Search, because it needed to be a pick that has more substance than that. A Shadow Fiend, I guess that's good enough, yeah. Even though he's very vulnerable at the start and even later. If you think about it, he gets scouted, he gets hookshotted, he will be alone. I'm not really sure how they want to make this, yeah, go through and have him survive all that. A Viper, that would have been interesting for Arcanys Gaming, because that would have been like a double tank strat with the IO healing them to kill them. Pretty hard, to be honest, especially if a lot of your magic source is magical. Like, think about Razes, think about Poison, think about the Leshrac, Visage, and even the Beastmaster. A Viper would have been quite insane, to be honest, but well, it doesn't get too much better, to be honest, because it's a Razor. So also a guy who is quite interesting against magical lineup.
I mean, Razor can be nice. I mean, at least there's like a mech builder for their team now. Then again, Io could go for it, or the Bristleback, and just have the Razor go for like a straight up Arcanys, for example. Although Razor, I haven't seen all that much of the hero recently, and I think with good reason as well. It's just not that strong, or it can be strong, but it's just not reliably strong, I should say. It's a little bit reliant on you getting a just proper static link off, for example. At the moment though, if we do look at the single target spells that CNS has, even like a Lightning Storm can be procced by, or Lightning Storm can proc the unstable current at least on Razor if he is the one getting targeted first.
Yeah.
There's like a couple of abilities, but it's not like a Skyright Mage spamming Arcane Bolts or something.
But look what's already happening. The Beastmaster is here in the bottom lane. He is, and that's the funny part, on the other side of the tree, there's the Bounty Hunter, just putting that Observer Ward in place. He actually knows where the others are, because there is that Hawk, but now he's being scouted out. Of course, there's no Janata or anything, but he will get additional movement speed, so at least some right clicks will come out. Now there's the Boar, but the Boar also has to run away, because that Razor already stole damage. Anyway, so since that kinda happened, and 10 seconds to the rune, let's introduce them really fast, Couchor.
Yes, so for the side of Click and Search, Yaj, or JJ should be on the Beastmaster, leaving Heart on the Shadow Demon with Yamaguchi playing the Shadow Fiend for GGGGG on the Visage, and Raven is gonna be the last one on the Leshrac.
That's a lot of G's. Anyway, the one who just scouted that Beastmaster out is Baduzai, and we have in the offline Mr. Play Hard, go hard on a Razor offline. That's quite interesting, or they will transition into something dual lane-ish. Arjun is gonna be the one who plays the IO in the mid. We have Heinrich, and of course top last but not least is Sydney. And that's also gonna be interesting because he's gonna have a hard time against, yeah, a tri-line. And this tri-line is quite interesting. It's a disruption into Split Earth, into slow or soul assumption, and this is gonna be, yep, it's gonna be messy.
Yeah, at the moment it's weird for me to see, to be honest, the lineup of Arcanys, because the first time I casted them I think was last year's August or something. And from that lineup that they had, I think only Heinrich is the player still left in Arcanys. Playhard, of course, has been there for some time as well now, but they've changed up quite a bit. We'll see how it works. Mid lane though, a gank is coming their way. Bounty Hunter doesn't have a Chinada though, so can't get a slow, plus of course Yamaguchi. Having a sentry does know that the Bounty Hunter is there.
Yeah, easy sentry ruin. They just get the opener, but then, yeah, he gets so many tower hits that I'm not really sure that's worth it. Sure, it's some sort of advantage for the Prissaback to have the Shadow Fiend on low HP, but look at the amount of tangos he has. He still has 2 shared tangos plus a set of his own. He instantly went for a stick, which is the right thing to do against a Prissaback because the spam is just amazing. So I don't think this Shadow Fiend has any problem replenishing his HP or mana against this lineup.
Yeah, also, I mean, it's definitely still going to be somewhat hard in the lane, considering you're going to be up against the dual lane of IO and Bristleback, but being on the Radiant side, you can so easily just go into your own jungle as well, farm those stacks up. The one thing they need to be a little bit wary of is, though, overstacking it and not farming it up fast enough, just because IO and Bristleback actually clear stacks pretty fast themselves. So if they somehow scout out those stacks, they may just come and steal it.
Yep, definitely, and I'm wondering how the Beastmaster's doing. At the moment, well, he went for the rune, the Bounty Hunter, as usual, just being a nuisance, open on him, a second opener, just with the Shadow Walk burst, that's it, but there's a boar on him, and that means he has to go back. That's, of course, bad news. However, he's 1-0, so this solo lane for him at the moment is horrible, while the Razor is 10-5, so he can't complain at all. In the mid, you see it, 4 stacks already on the cool sprays. That Shadow Fiend has to be really careful that it doesn't stack beyond 4.
It's just so hard really for this Beastmaster here. It's a tough lane matchup. I mean, Razor dominates so many lanes as it is. More so, of course, against melee heroes.
Oh, maybe lane, now there is. Like, they go for the Beastmaster, damage is already being soaked, and oh, this is quite a lot of damage. The problem is we don't have additional slow. If that Bounty Hunter was level 2, that might have been interesting, but he's not quite. He's still 1.5, like just a half level in. He needs half a level more.
Yeah, I think it would have been almost a guaranteed kill there. 3-second duration on a 25% movement slow, plus the Orb of Venom, of course, on top of that. A little bit beforehand, they also went on the Clockwork top lane with a disruption, but unfortunately Visage was a little bit too far away, so they just lacked the damage. But those side still hanging around on the bottom side as the Bounty Hunter. Oh, he's 1 XP off of level 2.
Well, next wave he's definitely gonna get level 2. He's soaking a bit in that lane, and I think it's absolutely the right thing, because at Beastmaster he was forced to use his salve, so at least that little gank was worth 100 gold, and besides that they can anytime go for it again. Top, well, Sydney is playing really passive, and it's the right thing to do. It's absolutely the right thing to do, because he can't really go against this lane. Problem is he doesn't get too much, which means he goes into Rocket Flare at the moment, and well, he saw them both. And they're actually heading towards the rune, aka jungle, something like that. And oh, Bristleback, little fight against that Shadow Fiend here, just spitting on him, nasal coup, but with the cavalry behind him, there's just no way they can go further with this.
Yeah, Arcanys really saw that rotation coming. Of course, they had a ward as well, giving some pretty nice vision once they came down the stairs. But even so, just didn't overextend there. Could have been a first blood, but I think they would have lost at least 1, maybe to 2 heroes themselves in return. Bottom lane though, Yaj. He's gonna be in some trouble because Patosai goes for another Shadow Walk, has the Chinada, no boots on him. But if Beastmaster gets a little bit too far, he does have a board as well to slow down the Razor potentially. But you can see the Beastmaster, he's just afraid of a potential Bounty Hunter being there.
Is it actually Yaj pronounced? Isn't it like J, just a funny way around, like the other way around?
He should be JJ. I mean,
Yeah.
there are like 2 J's. One is just J as in Bimbo, and Yaj is like JJ. I think he changed his name to be like the opposite or the other way around, just because he didn't want to be called J.
I'm not 100% sure, actually. I have to ask in the next lobby, because he's also tagged as standing. Anyway, he's gonna have a hard time, because the Bounty Hunter is always there. So
top lane though, we might get the first blood finally. There's the split there slowing down Clockwork, and yes, for GG, picks up the kill.
Well, all the time he has been so passive and everything, and it worked out quite okay-ish. But this time he came out of his little fortress around the tier 1 tower and he paid heavily for it. That's the first blood, and it was supposed to happen the second he shows out of the tower.
I mean, to be honest, even though he died, I don't think it's all that bad. Him being level 4 up against a tri-lane like this and only having died once. Whereas if you look at the Beastmaster, well, I suppose you could say he's been 1 versus 2, but it's still like a 1v1 lane in its essence, and he isn't even level 4 yet. So I think Razor winning his lane makes up for just Clockwork losing his. Just because Clockwork, as an off-laner in general up against tri-lanes, he's not expected to get the mass amount of farm. He just wants that level 6 to get the hookshot ready, and he's gonna get that probably faster than the Beastmaster.
Yep, we have to see about this, because that Beastmaster at the moment, I think I had, yeah, yesterday I had a similar game, just that the Bounty Hunter was all the time like glue on a Chen, and that Chen didn't get into the game for a long time for obvious reasons. Like, you get just half your XP is stolen, you get permanently opened by the Shadow Walk. Now that he's level 2, Janata also hurts, and woo! I think their Cyber Cafe or something went completely off.
Okay, so 453. Huh, okay then.
That's interesting.
Is that like 5 minutes of pause time?
I don't know, like 4:53, does that mean he's actually counting down 5 minutes pause time? That's some strict admin, but I guess that's a good thing. Ah, but look, they're coming back. Couchor? Oh, Couchor also died. That's the funny part. CNS disconnects, my co-caster disconnects, his sound is crushed. Oh, this is just amazing. So, guys, it's just me and 100 of viewers. That's pretty much it. Anyway, they changed the internet. It seems they're all back. Nobody's complaining about the ping anymore, I hope. Yes, they say a G. The one who just died says GG. We are all ready. So let's unpause this. 5 minutes and 22 in. Even with the first blood, it's of course it's not done. Still, I feel like CNS, they have more of a Half-Life on their team setup than anything. Okay. That's hilarious. They're like, yo, G, let's go.
So can you hear me?
Yeah, but you sound horrible.
I had to change my microphone and everything because the current one died.
How can a microphone die?
I have no idea, but it messes up. I have no idea what the other microphones like sound levels are, so I'm just fixing it.
Yeah, no, it's less about the sound level. It's more about how shit it sounds.
It's a headset microphone, man.
Yeah. Well, you probably won't believe it, but we have 5 disconnected after they reconnected with a new provider, I guess. They disconnected again, all 5 at the same time, like bam, lights out.
That's well, at first it was only 4 disconnecting, right? And now they lost the 5th one as well, man. Fun times.
Fun times indeed.
Well, as we're paused anyway, I guess I'm gonna go for like a fast restart to get my initial microphone working again.
I highly recommend that because you sound Mr. Destructoid.
I'll be right back.
So there goes my co-caster too. And as he goes, I think CNS, they're coming back. Internet seems to be up again. That's of course always bad news. Like if you're playing around an internet cafe or a gamer house, something like that, any boot camp, it's always bad news if your whole internet dies. And well, they're unpausing just to try it, and let's see how it works. It seems like they're good for now, at least. Okay, nobody disconnecting. So back into the game. Shadow Fiend, I don't know what he was actually looking for. 6-minute rune didn't spawn. He still made a nice little curve around top. I guess that was just in case the Ah yeah, it was just because of the clockwork in case he escapes there. That didn't happen. So Shadow Fiend 23 and 1 with the Bristleback 30 and 4. So at the moment it's quite a balanced mid, I have to say. Plus the Wisp is not really helping in that lane, but instead he's going here for some stacking. Plus, well, where's the IO actually? He just bottled up that bounty rune. But I love it that like whenever they come, they stack their camps. We have here a double stack, triple stack, and is this one stacked as well? No, but whatever. The Bristleback is gonna be happy, and now the push is coming. The Edict by the Lashrak. It's only a level 1 Edict and plus Strike Legs, but it's pretty strong already. We have the Shadow Demon. He doesn't even pull that creep wave into the neutrals. He, well, with a nice little circle, pulls it actually back into this line. But I'm pretty sure the pressure will be quite insane on that tier 1 tower soon. Pretty soon. And losing this tower so early, I'm not really sure if that's the right thing. Bounty Hunter is coming in, but he's walking directly through a sentry ward. Oh my god, there's the disruption. Is there the Split Earth? Yes, Split Earth is coming out, but where's the follow-up damage? I just don't see it. In the meantime, the Visage is just going down with the nice rotation of that Razor, and of course we have to be careful. I mean, that Shadow Demon, nope, he's fast enough, he has brown boots, and also the Lashrak is now running through the mid. He wasn't detected, so everybody's just like ping ping ping. Arcanys themselves with 5 heroes in their own jungle, but of course if they go off their lanes, we just go somewhere else. Raven joins with the Edict, pushing on our tier 1 tower, and Yamaguchi has, of course, a very convenient double damage rune, but I don't know, I think he has to pay for this. There's a Split Earth, and it actually lands. The Cogs are not enclosing him, so in the end, well, nice little uphill bounce into those Cogs, and that's pretty much the end of the story. So nice movement actually by Click and Search. They say like, okay guys, you prevent us from doing anything top, we just rotate into another lane. Finally the Beastmaster's getting some farm, and in the mid we got a tier 1 tower, so that really looks good for Arcanys. With that we have the Shadow Fiend again back on track, as he should be, because he's the only core that has to happen. Are you back, Mr. Couchor?
I think so. Am I back? You answer me.
Yes, you are back.
Okay, all good then. Did I miss anything important?
No, pretty much just the top tower push, and that kind of failed. They had to pay with 1 death, and then they rotated in the mid with a nice movement and got it there. And the Shadow Fiend now stealing those stacks. I can't believe it. Heinrich is there, and he's like, oh, why don't you do that? Why do you do that? Like, this was a triple stack, and the Shadow Fiend is saying, thank you. Thanks for stacking. That's just amazing.
Yeah, I was saying earlier on that if the Shadow Fiend stacks, they have to be careful of the Bristleback coming and stealing it, but of course the opposite is also true. I mean, Shadow Razor is definitely one of the easiest flash farm capabilities, although Batosai now comes to the top lane, has a level 1 Shuriken toss even if necessary. Visage may be caught out, but it's just Arcanys' lineup. They're not all that great at fighting early like this.
Yep. No, they're definitely not great. They made like some nice little rotation. We have now suddenly the Beastmaster versus the Clockwork here in that lane, because the Clockwork didn't get much top. The Razor plus the Wisps as a backup, and of course the Scouting Bounty Hunter are now top. So Arcanys, they had to swap their lanes and find it out if that's, I don't know, a better recipe to win this. The Bristleback, I don't know, he's pretty angry at losing all his stacks, so he might as well just clear those one out, and yeah, that's what he's doing, just stacking up a lot of quill spray on them. That's pretty much it. But what's happening here top, because another sentry ward being placed, and that sentry ward makes it kind of impossible for the bounty hunter to get in here.
I mean, to be honest, if you look at the bounty hunter in general, what has he done this game? Well, he did help out in just kind of shutting down the Beastmaster, even zoning him out of XP and everything, but he himself is only level 3. The IO is only level 4, there's no relocate, there's no track for a really long time unless they get the massive amount of kills, but without track, without more points into the Shuriken toss, it's not that easy to even get kills either.
Oh, but and we have level 6 top. They want to go for it. They start here on the Razor, but instead, look at this nice hookshot. He actually got the Visage. Now there's the turnaround on Raven already, and oh my god, this translates in 2 kills, maybe even more, because Shadow Demon, you're slowed by the Bounty Hunter. Massive forces here. They lose 3, but of course at the same time bottom line is pushing, avoiding against the fight. Not really sure if that's the right thing, because the Beastmaster could have prevented a lot in that fight.
Man, it's just such a bad fight to take, to be honest. going on a Razor like that who already has a mech, and they should have known he has a mech. I mean, just click on the hero, you're going to see it. But they will get the tier 1, and now Requiem of Souls waiting for the TP. The stun, the Primal Roar is there. Requiem of Souls now channeled once more, but Razor still has half health left. But they're going to get the IO, and with one extra Shadow Rays, also the Razor, so they pretty much more than made up for the top lane disaster.
Yep. It didn't really make up for it. I mean, they got the tower and only 2 kills and trade for 4, but, well, it's still good. But look at this, Heinrich being slowed. There are some raises. The 2 actually hit. The Bounty Hunter, well, I don't think he can go for anything. And with this, the Leshrac is gonna get that kill. And I was wrong. Bounty Hunter, he's gonna be pursued, and that's it. That's the power of a Leshrac on level 6 with the 3 points in Lightning Storm. Excuse me. But it's just insane. You're not just getting slowed, also the damage is quite insane. That's a 200 burst plus, yeah, it's AoE as well.
I mean, they could also deny the tower, although at the moment they're just all running past it. Maybe they're going to prioritize on getting the tier 1 down themselves and on the retreat deny it. But now CNS, I mean, they definitely took the better fight. Most importantly, the Shadow Fiend, he just got so much from it. Already has a mech flying out for himself, and well, sure looks like they want to keep on pushing Necro level 1 there on the Beastmaster. And, well, this tier 2, can they even defend this?
At the moment, I don't think so. Edict is ticking on it. Is that even more than level 1 now? Yeah, it's level 2 Edict. The right clicks of the Shadow Fiend, they actually matter by now. 50% is what they have right now. There are Necro units supporting all this. Well, the Prismaback is coming in, and look at their HP. Raven losing quite a lot already. And do they actually want to go in here hard? Or what are you doing? I don't think this is a good position where he is, because they're gonna initiate on him. But the Bounty Hunter not opening. Now, there's the Janata. Not tracked, of course, due to levels. They try to focus the Wisp, just to make sure that Prismaback is not too empowered in the end. They have to retreat. It's a 1-1 trade. The Razor was a bit too far out. But look at the Clockwork. He's coming in with no mana whatsoever for hookshot. So it's kind of a bad timing to get into that fight.
Well, they might get more. Splitter does miss just by a hair though, but Heinrich wants to keep on going. Taking quite a bit of damage, but as long as he has his back turned, I think it's going to be final though. Requiem of Souls going to be channeled, or is it? Nope. Oh, yes, it was. For a second, the
it's getting through, but look at those raises. They don't reach the Clockwork, but still, there's the slow by the Leshrac. Easy kill. And in the end, the Bounty Hunter just makes it out. He's just too low level. They needed, like, track kills as well, plus the movement speed you get from it. It all doesn't really work out. Arcanys, nope, that one was just too long of a chase. And surprisingly enough, CNS, they're still decent in mana and HP, so why not just finishing off that tower? That's what they do right now. The Razor, however, saying hello, stealing some damage, but oh, there's the stun. Edict ticking on him. The Razors are coming through. Wisp can heal as much as you want, but you just won't be successful. Wisp is not going down, but well, damage is already done. Now Heinrich, I'm not really sure if you want to be there. There's the follow-up, Split Earth. It doesn't land, but, well, they don't even need it. And look at this! This might be horrible. Mac being popped, and oh my god, Clockwork. It was so good. It looked so good, but what a disaster. He just hookshotted 3 targets below 100 HP. It looked so good.
Not only did he just land a hookshot on like 3 people, his travel path also just went past the 2 other heroes, so pretty much every single hero got hit by the hookshot. Yep. Or at least got damaged a little bit by it, but the mech just coming off cooldown, I think it had been off cooldown for like maybe 2 seconds or something, and immediately popped it again, and without the mech, they all would have died, and just would have been the fight won from Arcanys, but...
Yep, that would have been an ultra kill for the Clockwork, like a nice little gold recuperation on his side, but this way he also just went down. Arcanys just throwing them against the CNS roster 1 by 1. It doesn't really work out the way they do it right now, and well, they have to really reconsider their strategy, how they go into those fights, if they defend the tower or not, because looking at the graphs, we are 14, almost 15 minutes in. It's 7.5k at the moment for CNS. A lot of that is of course based on towers. They got so many towers, also always right click or last hit by the Shadow Fiend. That's why he's so high net worth as well, besides all the kills. But yeah, also the fights, giving away that much, it's just not a good idea. Plus the Bounty Hunter, if they get kills and if they had the track gold, net worth would look way better, but this Bounty Hunter, he spent so much time harassing that he himself never really got any XP.
Yeah, so far it's almost safe to say he's, well, not been completely useless, but definitely not as good as a just different position 5 support, I guess, even since you have an IO in the team. Although IO has like no farm at all. So Batosa, he's just hanging about, Might even get scouted, although runs into the trees. Another Shadow Walk. They know he's there though. They use the Wild Axis, but lacking the vision. And it's still some space created as Heinrich gets the tier 1 top lane, so they're getting something since the tower wasn't denied. Although Yamaguchi, did they see Batose for a second? Maybe. But I have no idea why they didn't deny this tower. It was on 41 health for like 3 minutes at least.
Well, Bristleback says, thank you, free tower. The only thing that really worries me a lot more than anything else is, like, we have the Orca Club, we have the Merciful Hammer done on the Shadow Fiend, which means 600 gold away from getting a BKB. And right now I'm just looking at Arcanys roster and how do they actually stop a BKB Shadow Fiend like this with the mech, with so much armor already, so much HP. I think they're gonna be zoned out for like 10 seconds as soon as the BKB goes on. After that they might have a chance to get him down. Before that I just don't see it. This snowball of Shadow Fiend is just getting too insane at this point.
I totally agree with you, but then again, the more net worth you have, the more you give away when you die. In the newest patch, 6.84c, it does get a little bit worse even as well. I mean, it's just based on net worth difference pretty much, or the highest net worth gives away the most gold when he dies. Doesn't even matter if you have a killing spree, although Shadowfiend also has that one, 6, 0 and 5, his KDA. So he's definitely gonna have to just playing carefully here. But man, Arcanys, they need more. Chainmail is gonna come out on Clockwork soon, so that's gonna be somewhat helpful, although Shadowfiend doesn't care as long as he has the BKB. And oh, but also, well, his scouting, that's what he's doing, but he's not really able to stop the push or counter push or anything like that.
Yeah, the problem is like killing him, comeback mechanic, that's all fun and fancy. The problem is like how do you kill a Shadow Fiend that's surrounded by an entire team that has so many spells. But I mean, we have one stun with Split Earth, we have Disruption, we have the Roar, so much. At least now the tracks are coming out, which means they know exactly where and when what happens. The problem is they just lose their tier 2. This time they are not going for like this, I don't know, just half resourced defense. But the problem is CNS says, okay guys, let's go high ground, and look at the damage. Just look at the damage on that tower. Now they used the cliff, but the tower lost 80% HP. They have to initiate now. They have to go through all those Necro units, and those Necro units, they're not even level 3. These are just level 2 Necro warriors.
It's only gonna get worse from this point onwards if that's the case, although Heinrich wants to get those familiars, but they do stay alive just barely. Does he have a resummon on those though? Nope, he does not.
Yeah, they have to be careful at the moment. Oh, there's the hookshot. Hitting 2 here. The Shadow Fiend popped in a nice position, but BKB on, and that's probably the second kill right there. Oh, I mean, Heinrich running. He lost his Wisp, and therefore no healing power whatsoever. Even the Lashrak super aggressive into the tower. There will be soon a new edict, but, well, they have to spend buybacks already. The Razor, well, super low, survived. Buyback on the Bristleback, which means the same story all over again. At least the BKB is on cooldown, but there's a disruption. Split Earth coming out, and look at all the damage. He's going down. It's a dieback, and therefore this is free racks pretty much.
Although the Shuriken does quite a bit of damage just bouncing through all those track targets there. They don't have a mech, although Raven, if he's suicided at the moment with the Bloodstone, he would heal up his entire team. To be honest, the wall doesn't even need to suicide, he just dies, but it does heal everybody back up.
Whoa, okay, Razor to the rescue here. They want to go for the Shadow Demon. The ultimate is still ticking through the destruction. That's disruption, I say. Destruction. Well, it was a destruction before that, but Razor actually makes it possible that they defend their racks, but the new edict is ticking on melee barracks. There's just no way they can go for it. Sydney, pop on a battery assault. He wants to find a target. Even the plate mail on just, I don't know, as a repelling masher. Razor, I don't think he should chase right here. They should be happy they didn't lose their axe, and they should be happy they lost, or they got some of those Wicked Sick streaks. Looking back on it, this was Shadow Demon plus a Wicked Sick on the Lashrak, yes. So that's tasty gold for them.
Well, it's still Arcanys, I mean, holding on. They don't lose racks, so it's all fine that way. And since most of the damage was focused on the melee racks, they will just regen up as well. But then again, next time around when they come back with a level 3 just Necrobook, for example, just getting those racks down, even zerging them down, so to say, it should be definitely doable for them. And to be honest, the fight started as well as it could have for Arcanys as well. Great hookshot, getting Yamaguchi down to like quarter of an HP or something before he even got to pop his BKB. Mech had already been used beforehand. And of course, getting rid of, I think it was 4 Bloodstone charges on Lashrak as well, although he did instantly respawn and just TP back. Even that boost of travels didn't help them get racks.
Yep. Well, the problem so far was that yeah, you had to somehow repel them, otherwise the edict is just eating your base alive. Next time they engage, the problem is you really have to kill them before they get into your base, because then even if you win the fight, you probably lose one of those Raxes, and then CNS, they can just repeat it. But at the moment, they just settled for Roshan, smoking into Roshan. That's a nice thing. The Bounty Hunter, well, he had this nice offensive ward here, but the problem is it didn't scout anything of that out. We have a Rocket Flare, however, flying in. Roshan is 50% HP. I don't think anything's happening. Oh, hook shot, hook shot, hook shot. Give me the steal. Nope, it's not gonna happen. He's a coward.
Disappointing.
Yeah, so disappointing. I was like, man, come on, jump in there. But he didn't do it. It's actually the right thing to do, because this way they can actually defend. And it's so sad, but they need the clockwork. They need the clockwork for initiation, and they need him to get on the Shadow Fiend or on any other soft target. They need him to actually get a lot of damage through the plate mail, which sounds odd because usually you don't rely only on a plate mail, but to be honest, plate mail is at the moment one of the stronger weapon on Arcanys.
We'll see how well he's going to be able to put that to use, or whether he can just wait out the BKB duration on the Shadow Fiend and then pop the chainmail, but I don't know. CNS, they just feel so confident, although they might get the Aegis of Yamaguchi. The familiar dropdowns to definitely help out. There's the BKB Requiem, gonna be cancelled because there was a little bit too much distance, but the Split Earth lands.
Double Split Earth.
Oh,
that
man.
Raven just coming in and saving the day. Like, without the Split Earth, it would have been quite interesting, to be honest, but I don't know why they just didn't run for their lives when they saw the BKB, because in the end that would have been like a win-win situation. Shadow Fiend leaves his Aegis right there, and they traded for pretty much a BKB charge, which is now the 9-second BKB charge. That was too many B's and too many K's. BKB charges. But yeah, this way they lose 2, and that means pretty much Rax the Razor is coming in, but I don't think his damage will be too impressive. Rax number 1 is going down, and look at that Lash Rack. Look at the Lash Rack, and his damage is absolutely insane. He's going for a Yule Scepter, so he has his own setup pretty much soon. Just saying bye to the Prisserback with a nice disruption, and that's it. They can rotate into the bottom lane and just continue. But of course, this time they face 5 on the other side, and I don't think Arcanys they accept going for the next tower.
Well, they can fight, but then again, Shadow Fiend still has the Aegis, so he can just keep on going, although he's pretty low on both mana and health, so they might just back off because they have the Aegis for another, well, 3 minutes. So just back off, maybe region up and then come for another push. Or maybe they're just waiting for the mid lane to push in for at least one hero of Arcanys to have to go that way, and that's when they jump.
Yeah, they have to really stop them before the base. But of course in the mid lane, I don't know, having this against them. They also never dewarded, for example, in the mid, which is kind of odd thing. CNS, they always knew what's going on in the enemy base. Raven now, to be honest, they should probably just put the Shadow Fiend in the front line, use the Aegis so that a lot of cooldowns are getting blown up. And then when he comes back, he just pops BKB and just go full rampage on them. That's the solution I had right now to break the space. Because this way, it's kind of a standoff. Nobody gets anything here.
Well, it's still favoring probably Click and Search a little bit because the mid lane is constantly pushing in as well. Although the hookshot lands Raven, they might bring him down. They nice cogs as well, but they lose the Clockwork. Yamaguchi pops his BKB but dies anyway. Does have the Aegis, but there's no BKB, no mech once he comes back.
Well, we have the Razor ultimate still ticking, but with the Shadow Fiend coming back, I'm not really sure if he wants to be here. Oh, there it is, Shadow Fiend. Yeah, he finished him off before anything else, so Razor, that was very, very ambitious. He has a buyback, however. They defended their T3 tower. Aegis is popped, so we have to see what actually happens here. The Wisp is not there to heal the Prisserback, and you notice the difference. There has to be a Split Earth, and I think he's going down. Yes, Razor can't really do anything. Shadow Fiend is godlike. His raise is just on target all the time. The Bounty Hunter is getting chased here by the Visage, while the Razor is just going for a nice little job. Right clicks. One last. Nope. This is the longest little beam we ever saw. Oh, Shadow Fiend versus Clockwork, but GG is already called. They just too much pressure on those structures plus the team fight. It's such an AoE mess, Couchor.
Yeah, they just before this team fight also got the Blink Dagger on Beastmaster, which made his positioning just even easier. And look at the Beastmaster scores: 0-0-15. What a team player, man.
Yep. 0-0-15, Beastmaster. Did we even see, how many Raws did we see this game? They didn't need this. I really thought we're gonna see, if that game goes another way and we have Arcanys pushing, they go for like a Leshrac Shadow Demon Beastmaster combination, as in roaming or ganking, because you have Raw into Split, or you have the Disruption into Split Earth into Raw. That's like, I don't know, standing there for 8 seconds just getting clubbed to death. But yeah, none of that actually happened. He could focus on Necros and the Blink Dagger, which he never needed pretty much, and that's it. That's the end of the story. Too much push coming out by Click and Search. But guys, this is a best of 3. Arcanys has still one more chance. We're going back with some music on the waiting screen, and then guys, second game coming up.